it's Kim from Blank Page Muse. Welcome to the Spooktacular Mega Make and Take event. We've got two videos for you today. One of them is going to make a really fun little whimsical card, and the other one we're going to make a really fun treat bag. So let's not waste any more time. Here we go. Here we go. We're ready to start making our Patches the Witch, our whimsical little card. Here's the stamps you should have gotten in your kit, as well as the stencil, some little shiny rhinestones that are adhesive, your regular cardstock, and your folded card that you can do for the assembly later. Go ahead and set that aside, and we're going to use this piece first to do the background. Okay, I'm going to set the stamps aside for just a minute and set this aside so I don't lose it. It always gets lost on a messy desk for sure. All right, let's for the pumpkins on the stencil, I'm going to use some just distressed inks that I have on hand. I'm going to use a fossilized amber, warm lipstick, and a spiced marmalade distress ink. And I have brushes here that I'm going to use to apply the colors. Oh yeah, cracked pistachio for the green of the leaves. And I'm just going to use these brushes. Use whatever you have, whatever you feel comfortable with applying the stencil ink with. And I'm going to use the middle size one and the small one. And I want the leaves to face that way, so I'm just flipping the stencil over. Now, position it how you like. I'm putting it kind of close to the bottom there. And I'm going to use just a little bit of tape to hold it down so it doesn't scoot on me. And I'm going to put it just one piece right there. Hopefully that's fine. Alright, I'm going to start with the lightest color first and just do it gently in the middle of the stencil. Just get a little yellow on there. Just work it in there, just gentle motions. You don't have to scrub it on there or anything like that. We're going to do one pumpkin at a time because we're going to overlap them just a little bit. So set that aside and move on to the next color. And I've got a piece of paper here just to scrub off the excess ink. And I'm just going to blend in some orange with it. And I like to start from the outside and kind of work inwards a little bit, pulling the ink that's on the stencil up onto the paper. Just get the color on there however saturated you like. Just blend it as best you can. That's good. There we go. And so that moved a little bit, so I'm going to just realign it. And with a little better tape maybe. That one's not so sticky. There we go. Let me close that. And I'm going to put a little bit of pink on it, because I like how the colors blend. It's a lot of fun. And again, don't worry about being so specific with the colors. Whatever you have on hand is fine. This is just what I chose for this project. Just give it a little blush, a little right there, a little up there. Okay, then once you're happy with that, set it aside, and you're going to want to do the leaves while we're here, so you don't have to place the stencil again. Okay, let's set that aside. I'm going to use a clean brush for the green. I'm going to use this tiny skinny one and see how that does. And I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper and just put it across here so I don't get too much of the green down into the pumpkin. And all over my fingers because I'm really messy when I craft. Just add a little bit on there. There we go, that looks pretty good from here. Now I'm gonna set this one aside. I'm gonna lift the stencil up. That looks pretty good. Now, I'm gonna use these pieces of paper I have here. Now, the second stencil, I wanna just overlap just a little bit, just so it looks like they're sitting, you know, close together, but a little depth. And I'm gonna twist it a little bit to the side. And I'm gonna tape that down there and there. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of tape and I'm gonna mask off part of it here. Just, it'll help me keep some of the ink away from the other one a bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be seamless, just creates a little illusion there. I mean, use whatever masking technique you like. I just like a little bit of tape just to help keep the color out. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to the bright yellow. I just put a little bit through the middle of the pumpkin. There we go. And just kind of right up to the edges of the orange there. That's good. That aside. Now to the next darker shade. And I'm pulling up from the bottom and kind of just a general brushing motion. And right up into the top sections there too. There we go. Okay, set that one aside. Then back to a little bit of green for the top leaves. And we use this just to hold it off. There we go. They don't get so much on my fingers. These colors are so nice and soft, and if you've never used distressed inks before, they're really nice. They're water reactive, so you can actually splatter them with a little bit of water and then dry it, and it gets a really nice effect. And it gives just more texture to it, and it's a lot of fun. Or you could just leave it like this. Today I'm just going to leave it plain as it is here, so we can move along and get to the coloring of patches and all that fun stuff. Okay, just that. I'm going to lift it up and see how it looks. There we go. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like that. So I got a little green over here. I'm not going to worry too much about that. It's joined in pretty good. You could take your brush and just kind of, if you're really picky, kind of join it up a little, but it looks fine that way. It looks cute. Okay, I'm going to set the orange and green ones aside and these colors. Now we're going to do the background really quick here. For the background, I have broken china and wilted violet. I'm going to bring in the blue around the edges, and I'm going to leave some open spaces, and then we'll come back in with a little bit of purple to fill in the sky area. Okay? I'm going to use a clean brush to bring in the blue. And I'm just going to brush up in there, just in. And just bring it in. I just like to have most of it covered. I like the inks there. And just kind of swirl it in, dragging some ink in off of the mat. Using it all up is really neat. It just makes such a nice little soft effect. And I'm going to use this paper again to kind of hold it so I don't get so much ink on all over the place. And just start brushing it in. And see that green smudge I had there? It's disappearing under all this, so it works okay. And you just want to keep bringing the ink in as close as you can to the pumpkins. It doesn't need to touch them. A little bit of white area around them is fine. And I just like this swirly effect. It doesn't have to be a flat surface or anything at all. come in a little closer, give them a nice little vignette, a little halo-like look. And just swirl away. I like these swirling motions. Backgrounds are a lot of fun. I could spend all day doing backgrounds. What do you think? Yeah, let's go ahead and turn it. And just get these edges here. Let's bring some of the blue in. There we go. Just a little bit up from the bottom. And of course I love the contrast of that orange. Just really pops against that blue. Just bringing in this nice texture. You're just creating texture and interest doing it this way. And whatever you use, if you use brushes, a dauber, a makeup sponge, it all works pretty good for applying these inks. It's really nice. Okay, when you have it about like most of it covered, a nice little halo around the pumpkins, go ahead and set aside the blue. Then I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush to bring in some purple. Just that little splash of color on the sky is really neat. And just kind of again swirl it in just lightly, and then a little more pressure helps get the color on there. Just bring it in some of the lighter areas and overlapping a little. Don't worry too much about if you have brush strokes or anything, because again, you're going to put the patches, which she's going to wind up being like on this side over here, so you've got a little safe spot there if something goes wrong. There we go. I like that, and that looks pretty cool. I'm going to leave it at that. And then I'm going to set this background aside to dry, and we will stamp and color patches. Okay, now I've got that wiped away, and I've got papers over here. I'm just using Nina white cardstock for the stamping, and I have my block here. Mine aren't cushion mounted. The ones I sent y'all should be cushion mounted, so make sure you peel off that white backer, and then it'll cling mount to your acrylic block or stamping platform, whatever you like to use. Let's see. Get her attached here. There we go. And today I'm just using the VersaFine black ink. I like it. It's a nice dark black and stamps so beautifully. Here we go. She's really easy to stamp with those thin lines, so I'm just looking to make sure I've got it all covered. And here we go. Let's see how it comes out. There we go. Looks good. Looks good. All stamped up. So that's good. I'm going to set her aside now. One stamping is good. Okay. Once you have it stamped, make sure your ink is dry. For this demo today, I'm just using colored pencils. If you have something else you prefer to color with, be my guest. I just like colored pencils, especially for the texturing that I'm going to do for her. I'm going to start with her apron, and because I like to get that color set and give me the direction, because in the picture you can see I have lines going down diagonally this way and then the other line, so it's a little bit of contrast. So I'm going to start with her apron first, and I'm going to do it in kind of blues and greens, a little bit of light there. So these are my Prismacolor pencils, and I'm going to start with the lightest color first and just start bringing it in. Just a little bit of color in a diagonal going this way from this corner all the way across. and to the bottom. Then I'm going to switch to a little darker one. I'm going to switch to this green here. And don't worry too much if you get outside the lines. We're going to trim her a little bit when we're ready for the card. It just takes a bit to build up the layers in colored pencil, but it's such a nice rich color, it's worth taking your time and bringing in the color softly. Just quick little layers. And again, I'm leaving the pencil strokes in here because I really like how it looks. I'm going to bring in a little blue now. I don't like that blue, so I'm going to set aside and switch to this blue. And you can color however you like. Pencils are fun. They're easy to, they're a little more forgiving than markers for me anyway. Okay, I'm going to come back to the light color and start kind of blending it all together. Just going over all the white areas of the card stock that I can still see around the heart. Okay, I'm going to bring in a little bright yellow. And this bright yellow is going to help tie it into the body color of Patches. There we go. And I'm just adding a couple fine lines in the darker color here. There we go. I just like that contrast. There we go. And I'm going to use the same dark one on the strap on the side here. Do a soft layer and then a little bit more, maybe with a little blue. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that works for me. Now I'm going to start on her dress. That one's going to be in pinks and reds and oranges. So I'm just pulling these all out. These are just, again, whatever colors you have. It doesn't have to be anything specific. If you want to know exactly what colors I'm using, just ask in the questions and I'll go ahead and type out a list, okay? I'm going to start with a light yellow. And I'm going to start going this direction. And bring it in a little bit to get some color down. I'm going to go all the way up. I'm going to do this part on this side of the seam after. I'm going to finish her face here. Take the color all the way up. And don't worry too much if you go over the stamped lines, because you can come in with a black permanent pen or even the black pencil. I'll show you later when we're done with this, and kind of go over them to make them pop again. Okay. And for her cheeks, let's see. Let's do a little bit of orange while we're up here. Just a little bit right there and there. And then we'll Give it a little bit of pink. There we go. Just a touch, a little bit more red. And I'm going to kind of blend it with this yellow, just to give it a cute little bright. Again, she's a whimsical little character, so you don't have to spend a lot of time trying to make it realistic. Make it bright and pretty, have fun with it. Okay, now let's come in with some orange, start bringing up the color a little bit more. And I want to give her a really patches look, so I'm going to just do areas of really saturated color and leave some of it light as well. So just kind of want to go in little random areas, getting that color in there. A little bit on along her hairline there is good. A little darker under her nose. Okay. Now I'm going to go to a little deeper orange. Whoops. And start coming across. There we go. You don't have to use a lot of pressure with the pencils. Take your time and get the pigment on the paper. The Nina's really nice and smooth. It's a lot of fun to color on. Bring that in there. Over here. And just a little bit there. And around on the side of her cheek. Fun thing is no two of these are going to be alike because you can do, everybody's going to look different and it's all fun. I really hope when you guys make these you post them and tag Blank Page Muse so we can see what you did. I'd love to see them. It's going to be so much fun. Okay. Now actually I'm going to come back with a light one to start pulling the colors together a bit more. There we go. I come back with a light to again start to fill in the paper that you're still seeing through the pencil. There we go. Turn it a little bit. And just those wonderful strokes. Leave it the patches. It helps make her look really wonderful and whimsical. There we go. Does help soften it a little bit. Right, I'm going to bring in a little bit of pink up in here. There we go. And just a little bit through that red. There we go. Okay, back to some orange. And the color, as you get the layers on there, it just goes in really smooth and starts blending, so it looks really nice. I really like how this area is coming out down here at the bottom of her dress. Okay. Back to our original yellow here. I'm going to turn it around. Still going to keep the same strokes, it's just easier. put just a little bit of pink on top of her nose right here. There we go. And around her eyes, and get all the color all in there. Okay, let's see. I think I forgot a teeny little area right in here. The curls of her hair under her cheeks. There we go. Fill it all in. Okay, got the first part done. Now for the back side, I'm going to just stick with a little bit of the light yellow and a red. So I'm going to get this color down here. Alright, and let's start with this red here. And it is going kind of the opposite diagonal of the front part. Again, I like texture and I like all these little variations. It makes it fun. Makes it unique. Okay. And now the darkest red. Oops, rolling away on me here. And just fill it in a little bit, just getting a little color on the backside there. And I am going to smooth it with some orange. Okay. And let's do her shoes in red. I'm going to do just a little pink, the toes. And then just pull in the red. And just have fun doing whatever color you want to do. It's all good. Okay, and her hat. I have her hat and her heart and her patch to go there. Okay, I'm going to jump back down to her little heart here. And I'm going to just go traditional with some pink in there. Get some color around. Just kind of go in different spots here. Then I'm going to come in with yellow around it, and it'll kind of blend and pull the color around. Mix a little orange. You can even help it along with a little more yellow orange pencil. There we go. And let's do the patch on her hat. And come in with some red for the hearts. There we go. I'm going to do the highlight a little lighter under the bottom here. And I'm making this one a little smoother. Not worried so much about the texture. Just get some fun color going there. Pull it together with some yellow. And then finishing it off with the red. Come back in with the yellow to smooth it out, just like the other sections. Kind of finish blending it together. Get a nice little swirl of color. There we go. And lots of fun with your red rubber stamp. You can stamp her as many times as you want and with many color variations, whatever you're happy with. It's so much fun to color multiple times. They all come out differently. It makes it a lot of fun. Okay, she looks pretty good here. Some of these lines I did cross over, so I'm gonna take a black pencil, colored pencil, and just go over some of it, just to darken it up a little bit. Not worried too much about it, but it makes it stand out a little. Like around the heart, gonna edge the heart. And then come back with the stitch lines and go over those so they stand out. In the coloring, they kind of get lost. Do the same thing up here with her patch on her hat, on her witch's hat. Blow away the dust. And the center seam. And along her dress here too. Just makes those lines come back a little bit. Okay, that looks good. Now, I'm gonna set the pencils aside and get your scissors, and it's time to cut her out. Now, I'm gonna go around all of these areas as close as I can, but when it comes to her hair and her arms here, we're just gonna leave some white space around them. I'm not gonna try to cut those teeny things out. Now I'm going to come around to the couple areas I left that are kind of big. I like to come back so I don't have the paper hanging around. There we go. Okay. Put that aside. And if you have any edges that are white and you're not happy with them, just come in with your pencil or a marker and you can go over them with a little bit of black just so it blends in a little better just on those sections, okay? It's a quick little touch up. Okay, gonna set the pencils aside now. Okay, so we have stitches, and we have the card, the background. Take this stamp off. We still have to stamp the Hello Halloween and have a spooktacular day. So I've got my scrap paper here. And I'm going to use my Versamark ink again. Ink it up. That looks nice and shiny. That's good. Let's switch it out for a spooktacular day. And spooktacular day, I'm going to do on the inside of the card, and I just got black on there. That's great. See, I'm always messy with the black ink, so this is gonna be, we'll make it pretty much covered up on here. Or I'll make it the back side. There we go. If you don't want to stamp the sentiment with a block, again, you can use your stamping platform, whatever you like. Whatever works for you to stamp the sentiment on the inside of the card. I'm going to test it over here, make sure I don't have so much ink all over the place. That's good, that works. It's also always a good idea to test stamp it to make sure you've got enough ink on it and it's seasoned. There we go. And I'm just going to put it in the middle of the card, right there. And there you go. Have a spooktacular day. Alright, we'll set the stamps aside. The Hello Halloween sentiment, just going to do a quick cut around the edges of it. Set that aside. Once the ink is dry, come back with your yellow or orange, whatever color you like. And just color that, make it bright and pretty. Again, I kind of like that polka dot effect this brush gives it. It's kind of fun. You can also just wet it and smoosh it to get it on there even, however you like. So we've got the sentiment on the background. I like to have it placed about here or so. And you've got patches. And she's going to go right about here. And since she's mostly on the blue, take your blue distress ink and just go over her hair area, this hand and that hair there. This one will kind of blend in since it's over a white area, okay? And that's just a little tip to help it blend in just a little. And I went over the hand. That hand I didn't mean to, but it's fine. It's fine. There we go. Grab whatever tape or adhesive or pop dots, whatever you like. Put it on the back side of them. There we go. Get her placed on there. Put her at a little angle. She's cute. It's a lot of fun. Okay, there you've got your panel. And now you should have a little package with the little shiny stones in it. It's time to get those out. Because with our night sky, I've got to add some stars, right? So they should be self-adhesive. Just peel them up. And stick them down wherever you like. And then grab your card base, and that looks good. I'll put some adhesive on the back and attach it, and that's all there is today. And there we go. Hello Halloween. Thank you so much for playing along today. And please make sure you tag us with Blank Page Muse so we can see what you make. I'd love to see it. Don't forget to go shopping with us. Use the coupon code EXPOSPOOKY at blankpagemuse.com and save 25%. That coupon's good till the end of October, all right? Thanks a lot. Good night. Hi, welcome back for our next little video here, Blank Page Muse. We've got a second spooktacular video for you today. And this time we're going to do a treat bag using some of our stencils and some of our stamps. We have some lots and lots of fun Halloween stamps. We have a whole Halloween section in the store. If you just go there, you'll see a lot of the same themes and stuff and all that. And we've got some brand new ones that I wanted to play with. We have our newest stitches. These are by Stephanie Eaton, and these are Memento and Mori. And then we have some other creepy cute kids. These are designed by Dead Sea Tunes. And here's patches that we just did in the last video. We've got sugar skulls. We've got all sorts of wonderful things. We've got some wonderful witches by Rick St. Dennis. You see those a little better here. And some Poe. It gotta have Poe, right? So I have a bunch of these already stamped just to save a little bit of time. And I want to play with these two today. And first of all, let's stencil the bag. This is just a regular little craft colored paper bag I got at the craft store, and I did this one ahead of time, and it looks a lot of fun. For the one I'm going to do for you right now, I'm going to use this stencil. It's a candy stencil, and I think this would just be a lot of fun. Just grab your brushes, sponges, daubers, whatever you use, and some sort of inks, whatever again you like to play with your stencils, okay? And we're just gonna get some color down here through it. And let's see. Let's start with some purple. And just stencil through here all these wonderful candy shapes. That makes a really fun treat bag, I think. And I was using different colors of Distress ink and Distress oxide. The oxide one picks up a really nice texture on this craft paper. It's a lot of fun. I'm just going to overlap the colors a little bit too. And just push it around. Bring it up from the stencil itself back into the design. There we go. Alright, you get the idea there. Got some color on there, set the brushes aside. It's a really fast little stenciling job. These would be a lot of fun for Halloween, giving people treats. Maybe you're not going to go out trick-or-treating, but you still want to surprise people with some treats. So this is a great little way to do some distance treats, right? We'll set the stencil aside, and I really like how the colors blend there. I think that looks really cute. This stencil is 4.5 by 5 inches approximately, and it fits this little bag just right. It looks really good. And I'm going to set the inky one aside, so I'm going to put my elbow in it. And here we go, that. And let's use one of these. And I'm just going to use some colored pencil really quick on here, bring in some colors. And let's bring in some blue. These flowers you can color any way you like. And these are so much fun. I love these stamps by Stephanie. They're really wonderful. Make sure you take time to check out Stitches on our website and read about our original stitch and our donations we are doing for that. Love it if you take some time to read about it. And I'm just using Prismacolor pencils. You can use whatever you like to color. Pencils for me are a little fun and easier to blend. They're a little more forgiving than markers. And I'm gonna just bring in a teeny little bit of light color on the webbing here. Just a little bit. You can color as much as you like, or just leave it mostly the white. Do whatever you like, just have some fun. There we go. Alright. That's just a really basic coloring job. I've got a little tag here that I pre-cut, and I'm going to stamp the Hello Halloween sentiment on it. That is the one from the earlier make and take. There we go. Set that aside. And then I am going to just bring some ink around the edges from the outside in all the way around. And I love the softness of these brushes. Gives really nice feathery appeal there. There you go. And this one has a little hole in it. I'm going to poke a hole in this one, and we're going to attach them to the handles of the bag. And this is just a really fast little project. You'd have a lot of fun in an afternoon making them. And let's see. There we go. I'm going to cut a piece. And then thread it through. You're adding like a little charm onto the bag, which is, I think, kind of fun. And going to do the same thing with the sentiment tag. That came out a little big. I'd probably trim it a little smaller. Or maybe even put it on the other side. If you stenciled both sides, you can put it on the back side. For now, I'm just going to do it on the front side like the other one. I'm just going to tie it up a little closer so it doesn't dangle down as far. And then, there you go. And you have this really fun little treat bag. There you go. And then these are the same pumpkin stencils we used in the earlier make and take. And just put on here with the same inking technique with the oranges and yellows. And then I used the stars from the Stars and Moons stencil. So you've got the candy stencil, the pumpkins, and the moon and the stars. You've got all sorts of fun Halloween stamps you can use. And that's it. Have a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, and happy Halloween.